Hi guys, Miss Dixon here again. I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk about what it looks like to participate in your Chem comm class. So by this point, you have heard about how the materials for class are going to look, what you're going to see every day. You've heard about how the Google Classroom is going to run, and you've heard about how you're going to be graded. What you haven't heard about is what your day-to-day looks like. So how do you participate? What is expected of you? That's the part that I'm going to answer right now. So first thing, during ChemComm, you are going to get 3 lessons per week. Each of those lessons is going to be about 20 to 30 minutes. That's a rough time. Some might be a little bit longer, some might be a little bit shorter. It kind of depends on the material that we are covering at that time. It also depends on how much practice you decide to do and how quick you catch on to things. So you're going to find with chemistry, sometimes you'll catch on to things right away. It'll be super easy for you and you'll feel really good about it. Sometimes you might have to put in a little bit more practice. We'll give you that flexibility. There'll be practice problems. There'll be videos that you can watch, things that will help you make sure that you understand what's going on. So it's hard to say it will always be exactly 25 minutes because that's just not the reality of how chemistry works. We're going to try to stay in that 20 to 30 minute range for each of your 3 lessons during the course of the week. The other really nice thing is that chemistry, our lessons are a little bit flexible. So if you have things going on during the course of the week, we'll be posting the lessons on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but you might decide that you want to do all of the lessons on Thursday and Friday. Totally fine. You might decide you want to get them all done on Monday and Tuesday or on Monday. That works as well. We'll have all of the material posted by the Friday of the week before, so you'll be able to complete those lessons on a schedule that works for you. What is essential is that you complete the lessons in order. So if you don't do work on Monday and you come on Wednesday, you can't start with Wednesday's lesson. You have to do Monday's lesson first. So the first lesson posted is always the first lesson that you do, then the second one, then the third one. The reason for that is that the lessons build on each other. So you might find that Monday's lesson introduces something, Wednesday's lesson gives you some practice with it, and then Friday's lesson asks you to apply it to a lab or to a new situation. If you just start on Friday, you'll miss all of that important information that comes before it. So no matter what days you do the lessons on, you have to do them in the order that they are posted. Okay. The next thing that I need to talk about is a chemistry-wide policy. So the entire chemistry department is going with a 2-week policy. So what that means is that we know things come up. We know that sometimes your schedule is uncontrollable. You might have great plans to get things done, and somebody might get sick or a family emergency might happen. We get it. It happens. Okay. So we are saying that within 2 weeks, if you can get your material done within that 2-week period, you are good to go. So let's say we post a lesson on Monday and you don't get to it until the following Monday. That's not ideal. We'd like you to get the work done within the week it's posted, but the reality is it might happen once. It might happen twice, okay? As long as you're within that 2-week window, we will still be checking the understanding checks. We'll be giving feedback. We'll be making sure that things are making sense. If it's outside of that 2-week window, let's say you don't get to it for 3 Mondays from now, okay? If it happens once, it's okay. We get it. Maybe you were sick for a week and a half and then you had a lot of work to get done and you just didn't get to it in that 2-week window. We just ask that you communicate with us, Send Mr. Schmidt an email if he's your teacher and you say, hey, Mr. Schmidt, here's what happened. I know it's not ideal, but it's my reality right now. It's where I'm at. I'm going to start getting this work done. Can you please check this understanding check that I just completed? Mr. Schmidt will go in, he'll check it, he'll give you feedback, and life will move on. What can't happen is that it cannot become habitual. You can't wait every 2 weeks and then all of a sudden say, well, now I'm going to do my ChemComm work and have all of that work be more than 2 weeks old. Okay? In the event that that starts to happen, we will have to get in contact with parents. We'll have to get in contact with guidance counselors. teachers, we got to find a plan that is more sustainable because we need to keep you up to date on the work that is being done. So outside of that 2-week window, you need to contact your teacher first. Let them know that you are completing that work. You know that it's outside of the 2-week window. Here's why it's outside of the 2-week window. I'm going to get it done. Can you please check it? If it happens multiple times, we'll need to reevaluate what's happening, how you're getting work done, and make a more sustainable plan. Okay. Last thing I want to talk about is how you're going to interact with your teachers. So Mr. Schmidt and I, we want to be able to see you and to be able to help you as much as possible. Okay. Mr. Schmidt will be available every day via office hours. He is available from 1:30 to 2 in the afternoon. If you want to log into office hours, there's a Google Meet link. It's on the calendar. It's posted on your Google Classroom page. But you can log on to those office hours to ask him a question, to go over a problem, to get feedback on something that you're doing, and he will be there to help you with that. If that 1:30 to 2 time slot doesn't work, I'm also available for office hours. I'm available in the morning. So I will run my office hours from 8:30 to 9 in the morning. So depending on what your schedule looks like, which cohort you're in, what time you work, all of those types of things, one of those 2 time slots hopefully fits within your schedule. The other way that you can get help is if you are in the blended model, if you're here in school, you'll have an opportunity to meet with a science teacher every day that you are in school. It might be me, but it might not. Remember, we talked about it might be Mr. Hall or Mrs. Adi Meyer, or you might have a science teacher that's not part of the chemistry department. So if you're a senior, you might have Mr. Cosme or Mr. Teachin. If you are a junior, you will see either me or Mr. Hall. We are the only 2 science teachers with the juniors. If you are a sophomore, you might see Mrs. Ackley, you might see Mrs. Manchesky or Mr. Ducat. If you have one of those teachers that is not a chemistry department teacher, odds are they can still answer your question. They've all taken chemistry many times. You kind of have to do it to be a science teacher. It's a requirement. So probably they can answer it no problem. In the event that they can't answer your question, they'll get in contact with either Mr. Schmidt or myself. We'll make sure that we can help them answer the question, and then either they'll bring that answer back to you, or we'll set up a system where one of Mr. Schmidt or myself can get in contact with you and make sure your question gets answered. Okay, so all of that to say, you have lots of ways to get in contact with both Mr. Schmidt and myself, or with another science teacher to make sure your questions are getting answered, that you understand what's going on in class. Okay, make sure you're using it. Don't let the material get away from you. Don't let yourself get buried under things this semester and then it feels like there is a mountain to climb to get out. Stay on top of things from day one and it should be just fine, okay? Let us know if you have any questions. If anything in this presentation didn't make sense, remember our contact information is in the class syllabus and schedule, okay? Contact us, let us know. We'll make sure to clarify things. Make sure you also share this information with your parents. They want to know what's going on, what the expectations are going to be of you this year. So if you can share it with them, even if it's just the highlights, they will very much appreciate it. Hope to see you all soon. Have a great start to your school year.